What's going on, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Enter the Javelin, Mixer's only Anthem community web show. I appreciate everyone hanging out this week. We are here live June 10th. We are the weekend after EA Play 2019. And for a second, I'd like to just sit and think about like retrospective of where we were this time last year. So we started the show the first week of May in 2018, and now we're a little bit over a year later. But last year at EA Play 2018, we got a whole lot of new Anthem information. That was the first time we saw the Interceptor. It was the first time we really got to saw like in-depth gameplay of the Colossus and the Storm. And it's just been an absolute whirlwind of a year, you know, regardless of people's thoughts or receptions. Like, it's just been crazy where we were last year to where we are right now. So we're not going to really waste any time as far as talking about the little tidbits of things going on. We're going to just hit the meat and potatoes. So last week, the PTS went live, and that's been accessible for players on PC if you own the game or if you have Origin Access Premier. I don't have either at the moment. I think we might bring back Premier or pick up the game just to have access to the PTS, because it seems like there's a lot of stuff going on the PTS. Thankfully, we do have some friends, a bunch of Gamechangers that have been taking a look at the PTS over the last week or so, as well as some friends that were at EA Play this past weekend that they shared a little tiny bit of information that we're going to talk about. But primarily what we're going to look at today is we're going to look at an article done by Bags at Anthem Insider. He has had extensive time with the PTS over the last week or so. So we're gonna jump into that real quick. So if you guys are unfamiliar with his work, it's antheminsider.com. Let's see if I can pull up the article here on the desktop. Okay, here we go. This is his site, antheminsider.com. He put together, thank you, dog. He put together his thoughts on his time with the Cataclysm, and there's a lot of videos here, so you guys got to really check out that site. If you look at just the videos here quick, a lot of stuff that he's got posted here. So huge thanks to Bags at Anthem Insider. You know, I always mention anytime we talk about Bags, he's my first friend in the Anthem community, and we've just been really connecting a lot over the last however long. Hey. Go to mom. So ask mommy to get one for you, okay? All right, kids. All right, so BioWare's latest news came in the form of the latest, the release of the PTS. You have to ask mommy both, okay?
Mommy said no.
Well, you can't ask me. Stop. The PTS, which gives players the ability to try out the upcoming 8-week-long Cataclysm event and offer their feedback directly to the developers. Bags played on Anthem's PTS the last couple of days and thoroughly tried and tested out all of its features. Several pre-Cataclysm story missions are included with their own cinematics and character dialogue, which is really huge because I think people were kind of skeptical of how much story and dialogue we get after the fact. So I think this is a great addition to what we already have. There's also a new NPC vendor, Herschel, who will be selling augur items. What those are is unknown at the moment, as the shop's dialogue ends there, and the shop backend is not on the PTS yet. And he does show a small clip. We're not going to get into the clips because we're just going to kind of go through everything really, really quickly here. Moving on, I must warn you that most of the images, text, gameplay shown contain major spoilers. Now, I had an opportunity to read this, and this part is huge because this is something that a lot of people felt was completely left out, that they're putting back into the game. So this is big stuff, guys. Let's see. Let's start with conjunctions. So something I posted about a few days ago, since it was data mined from the client after the 1.2 patch. Big thanks to the Anthem Archive guys for this information. So if you guys are unfamiliar with Anthem Archive, anthemarchive.com, they have the listing of all of the items in the database. So they have new weapons, the Masterwork and Legendary Support gear, which I know a lot of you guys have been talking about lately. So those are particular things that that they are looking for, that they've got access to, and they're just trying to get that information out to everybody. So this is something else that they've shown since the patch. The conjunctions seem to be what was originally shown during the E3 2017 trailer as a Shaper Storm. BioWare at some point revealed that the Cataclysm and Shaper Storms had been merged into one event during the game's development. The conjunctions portals exist as multiple anomalies in free play and are events that periodically unlock. I believe the activation timer is about 20 to 25 minutes right now, but that is always subject to change, and BioWare will probably fine-tune it according to the data they collect from PTS players. So this is kind of what that conjunction looks like. It's like this kind of fire ring that'll be appearing in free play. Once the anomaly goes volatile, yeah, right, dog? Once the anomaly goes volatile, it expands and creates a portal that leads into a small dungeon where the actual event takes place. There's a secondary timer that causes the entrance to collapse and shut down. So once you're inside, there's no way for others to join you, as far as I know. This is where it gets better, dog. I don't know if you can read it there. The event is something that the community has asked for months, and it's been suggested as early as 2017. A horde mode. So when you get inside this conjunction, that's when the horde mode activates, which I think is super cool. And this is like the pre-Cataclysm stuff. It's a timed event where enemies spawn in waves and you have to defeat them to unlock loot chests and rewards. There are currently 3 tiers, each increasing in difficulty. So a pretty straightforward event by all means. You head off to free play, fly to or fast travel near an anomaly, and wait for it to unlock. Enter, kill as many things as you can, and as fast as you can, and reap the rewards. It's a really fun event in my opinion, and it'll add some much needed replayability to Anthem. This is what the conjunction looks like in game. So like I said, we're not going to go through all the videos, but he has tons of this stuff right here. This is the most recent post on AnthemInsider.com, published Friday, so 3 days ago. Up next, I got some new story mission lore and a work in progress cinematics. The entire PTS is work in progress, for your information. Main characters for the pre-Cataclysm mission will be Grandmaster Adams, Dr. Harkin, and Vera Brahm. So I'll show Vera in a minute because I know Bags showed it on his Twitter feed, and we'll kind of go through that in a sec. You'll remember Grandmaster Adams from the end of the main storyline. He's the guy standing in a room with Tassin and the dead Urgoth scout behind them. So spoilers, guys, if you haven't got to that point, this is what they were showing at the end. So Grandmaster Adams is the guy that kind of looks like Casey Hudson. So if you don't know who that is, yeah. Yes. All right. Dr. Harkin is the bald guy we saw during the cinematic of the destruction of Freemark. He's the one who turned the Shaper Relic on and caused a cataclysmic event known as the Heart of Rage that annihilated the city of Freemark. Vera Brahm is going to be the main villain, as far as I know. She's the Monitor's sister. She's a high-rank member of the Spear, which is a regime within the Dominion forces. In the cinematic, we see her performing some form of ritual involving a huge Shaper Relic that caused the cataclysm. And then these are some of like the things you see. This is Dr. Harkin right here behind in a prison, it looks like. So cool stuff here. Bags really graciously posted all of this stuff onto his website from his Twitch stream. Needless to say, everything currently on the Anthem PTS is subject to change. Values, missions, items, how things work, etc. Once enough data is collected and BioWare feels comfortable to release the new content, they will patch the live servers with it. So right here, cinematic work in progress. You guys can see this is all stuff that's being worked on a weekly basis. They've actually updated the PTS, I think, twice already since it went live a week ago. And finally, we have the actual Cataclysm event itself. It's a vast new area filled with puzzles and mini events. It's point-based and also timed event. Completing objective grants you both points and extra time to keep going.
Excellent!
Mule, thank you so much for the host, man. Completing objective grants you both points and extra time to keep going. There's also where you'll encounter Vera Brahm. She's not particularly hard to beat, but has really annoying attacks up her sleeve, so keep an eye out for those. When the time ends, you get moved out of the area. I assume the leaderboard's statue I found will have something to do with it. Hopefully guilds too. We'll see. What's going on, man? How was your trip, dude? That is Jab? That's like the metal horns. I'm really liking the direction BioWare's taking with this, as it'll create a form of indirect PvP, or rather competition between players, groups, guilds, etc. And that could be a good thing for the game. I'm sure, dude. I'm sure you've been probably running around since Thursday or so. People will want to put their guild name on the top positions of the leaderboard, more so if there's a reward for it. I'll be putting together a full guide for the Cataclysm event soon, so keep an eye out for that. So AnthemInsider.com will have all this information. Dude, so good, especially just the end we can get. Okay. We're going to go through some of the things he said. Until then, you can check out the VODs over at twitch.tv/AI_bags for Cataclysm PTS gameplay. And like I showed, it's all in this first post that he's got up here on his website. Remember, fly safe, freelancers. So he's got a lot of different things. So this is the little the statue there. This is the map of where the leaderboards are. It's actually be right near the forge in Fort Tarsus. Yeah, in the forge, right near the forge. Cool looking stuff, guys. One other thing, let's see, he did say a couple other things here on his Twitter that he was pointing out, which I think was really awesome of him to do that. So PTS found in the crafting menu 3 new weapon categories: pulse accelerators, volt casters, and blade slingers, all new weapons. One in the fort and one in the social space. Okay, cool. So can you elaborate more on stuff with the launch bay? New features were enabled yesterday on the PTS. Blade slingers, yes. Blade slingers, like you can show right here. I'll put the big picture up. Pulse accelerators, volt casters, blade slingers. Better late than never, but I've been listening through Dog's mic. Oh, it's all good, man. Let's see. New features were enabled yesterday on the Anthem PTS. Echoes of Reality pilot leaderboards, Cataclysm event rank, inversions, which are the modifiers for the Cataclysm. You'll find leaderboards next to Zoe inside the fort. This was really cool too. Like, this is something that was shown up on, I believe. Oh, see, okay. Anthem Archive found these, and this is like the additional melees for a lot of the things. So you have the shock mace, explosive strike, flame mace for the ranger, shocking strike for the storm, venomous blade for the interceptor, seismic glove for the colossus, shock glove, inferno glove for the colossus. Let's see, where's the other ones? Cryo blades, acidic glove, twin blades, shock blades, freezing strike, frost mace, acidic strike, seismic mace. All crazy stuff. Yeah, everything is getting added. And then you can see, like, this is where it's gonna go. So it's gonna go on right below your regular loadout here. This is some masterwork and I think legendary support, at least masterwork support gear. Cool stuff. And I know, but at least it's getting there, man. At least it's getting there. So like, Wind Wall is gonna have detonates a combo explosion on expiry. That's pretty cool. And then this is Vara right here. Mini monitor, if you will. I'll promote his channel. It looks like Space Mom a little bit. It does look like Space Mom a little bit, man. But that's about it as far as like the PTS stuff goes. I'm really disappointed in myself for not having the opportunity to jump in because I don't have the PC version anymore. It's something we might have to jump into in the future. But great things from what I've heard so far. A lot of positive feedback from the Gamechangers from what I've heard. Let's see. I think William said something from your Anthem. Let's see. Oh yes. All right. So here's something he said. There's more to Cataclysm to meet the eye. If you play it once or twice, your focus is just to beat the puzzles and be done. You're doing a huge disservice to yourself. So the Cataclysm is set out to be a repeatable activity. Oh, that's right. And then Wade shared with us in the Discord because some unfortunate mess happened to his audio file after the interview with Chad and Ben. Where'd you put that, Wade? So I get the terminology correct. Okay, so when Cataclysm drops, you'll get a crystal economy added. A main crystal and smaller crystals you can grind for. You use the crystals to unlock what's called a war chest, and the war chest you get from Herschel. He's the new vendor in Fort Tarsus. Each chest has a specific loot pools like helmets or support components, etc. And you pick which chest you want and run from those particular loot pools. So I think that's a good positive direction to have the loot go, because it's like, you know, I'm missing a lot of components on my main build. So if I want to go after components, I could do just that. If I'm fully set, I could chase just armor. Also very good. So huge positive changes coming in the very near future. If you're on PC or have EA Access Premier, jump into the PTS and check that out. Yes, you can. So guys, if we don't have any more questions, I know this is relatively short, but we didn't get any major news at EA Play other than, you know, they're working on the PTS, the Cataclysm. Ben Irving sat down with Greg Miller during EA Play, and Greg hit him with hard questions. You know, it's not like he kind of sugarcoated anything. Greg Miller said, like, what are you guys doing to remedy the problems? And, you know, and Ben Irving recognized that, you know, the game isn't at its full potential right now, and they're working their hardest based on player feedback to give us the content that we want to play, as opposed to saying, here, this is what we think you're going to want. They want to know what we actually want, and they're going to build the future of the game based on the PTS. Unfortunately, it's just on PC right now. I would love to be playing on Xbox because that's where I'm mainly playing the game at the moment. But hopefully in the near future they can give us a PTS. Like, you know, I know they have EA Access on Xbox. They're going to be having it on PlayStation 4 pretty soon. When is it dropping? The PTS is already out. It's on PC right now. When is it going to be on Xbox? I don't know. Is it going to be on Xbox? I don't know. They haven't given any sort of timetable on that. But the PTS is open right now on PC. When's the Cataclysm dropping? If that's the next question? I don't know. I would say our soonest bet is probably 4 weeks. Which, if you're going to say that's not soon enough, I would agree with you. But everything that people have played this have said has been extremely positive. So I'm willing to, you know, give the benefit of the doubt right now. But if we don't get things at a more rapid pace moving forward, it's going to be substantially more frustrating to continue to support the game as it stands right now. And I get that, and I get everybody's criticism with that. But all we can do is kind of just support the game, provide critical feedback when it's applicable, and wait for the next step. I'd say that the Cataclysm's 4 weeks out if I were to give an educated guess. At least we have a little bit of info. Yeah, that's for sure. Hopefully we get more in the next few weeks, which would be good. It gives us something to look forward to. I mean, we know the Cataclysm exists. We know that the things we saw as Shaper Storms before, the what were they calling them? It had some weird name. Conjunctions. I'm sorry. That I think that needs a change in name. Conjunctions just a little too offbeat. would detail those things to become exciting to agree. Oh, I agree, and I think even having those just pop up in the world all the time, it's like greater rifts in Diablo, and I think that's what we thought they were going to be in the first place, you know. So fingers crossed that they really nail that home, and we get some great things out of it, you know, because I'm really invested into what they got going on right now, but apprehensive at the same time because, you know, there's nothing beyond this. So what's next after that, you know? And I don't want to be cynical about it, but you know, you have to really look at it and say, okay, we're gonna have this content. This is gonna last this X amount of time. So what's the next thing, or what are they gonna be working on next? Yeah, host Psychotic, thank you so much for the host, man. If the Cataclysm is a repeatable event and they kind of bring it back periodically, it's got to change every time, you know? Like, I understand that they're going to do inversions that kind of change every few days. I think that's a new modifier to the inversion every day. It might be a Destiny issue where they have so many people working on it. Yeah, they can't work on the future yet. That's certainly a possibility, but I don't think it's a case like the DLC. Like, I think that with Anthem, you need to be working on the next game mode right now, you know? Like, or at least storyboarding or blueprinting on it, you know? Like, what is the next thing that the players are going to want? And I think something bigger than the Cataclysm might be it. Like, I don't know how big the Cataclysm is, you know? It seems like you can kind of go in, do one puzzle, and then fight the boss and get some loot out of it, but it's going to be people that want to test those builds, and I think you need that now, but you got to reward accordingly. Would a raid fit in Anthem? I don't think so. Not like a raid in the sense that we know it, you know? I think it's going to be more smaller instance-based type stuff, but like the Cataclysm seems like a step in the right direction, but what's the next Cataclysm, or what's the next step of the Cataclysm beyond, you know, doing this one particular thing? So like, I understand, so if you expand on the Cataclysm, you have more encounters or something like that, and then just like change arenas or expand the arena, you know, like that's kind of written into the lore that they can realistically do anything, and the storms, the Cataclysms can change everything whenever they launch, you know? But this seems like a Dominion forced Cataclysm, this one. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm excited to see what it is, like more of what it is once we actually get into the content of it, and hopefully that's sooner rather than later. Hopefully. But guys, if we don't have any more questions for today, I'm gonna jump into Anthem for about an hour or so, and start doing some of my free play stuff and quick play stuff. But we're back here every Monday. Hopefully we got a little bit more to talk about next week. We might bring in a game changer and kind of discuss some of the things that they saw at EA play. But that's up to the people that have been around. If you guys want to stay up to date with more stuff, mulehorngaming.com, antheminsider.com, freelancercodex.com, and find your Anthem on YouTube. Those are the most reputable Anthem sources that I feel that we have out there right now. Open World Gaming on YouTube is pretty good as well. He's just a little bit more broad. Yeah, thank you, dog. But Anthem Insider, Freelancer Codex for sure. Mulehorn Gaming, I'm sure Wade's going to have a lot to talk about on the podcast this week. So follow all those things. Join those Discords and everything like that. You have a random thought? Let me hear it, Psychotic. It has to do with free play. I'm listening. I would love for free play to be expanded on. What if you had random encounters of in-flight enemies attacking? Like a Ursix or Titan in midair? Like something like that? Other javelins. Oh, I gotcha. Okay. I thought the files were corrupt. I thought that's why he wasn't doing that. So okay. But Psychotic, from what I understand, they were trying to go away from like the true aerial combat just because it was so difficult to manage. But it'd be interesting to see, you know, javelin racing maybe. So you had a legendary of enemy javelin just randomly. That sounds like a half thought. It's all good. It would be cool, but I don't think people would buy into javelin racing like people would buy into sparrow racing, but I could be wrong. I don't know, man. I think give people just a reason to play Anthem, and I think they'd come back in droves. And I think that would be something just to say, okay, here's a little thing that people would enjoy for a little bit. Like a mini boss encounter. Yeah, I think anything should at least be considered. Because just because I don't like I don't like it, or a dog doesn't like it, doesn't mean it's not gonna be fun for other people. But like, for me with the like a javelin encounter, like I would like that, but I don't know how they would like conceptualize it. Is that even a word? Like, I don't know how they'd put it into the game. Because they've just talked so much about like not having like true midair combat, but I think it'd be cool like if you could like jockey for position with another javelin, like if you had like a set arena or something like that, you know, and kind of like be able to maneuver quickly. I think that'd be some cool stuff. But I don't know what their goals are right now with adding more stuff, you know. I would love to know what their idea is. No, I agree, and I think anything needs to be considered at this point. Because I think there is a sense of you know, not disarray, but like they're kind of confused still of where they want things to go because they don't know where the players are going to take it. So I've run out of ideas multiple times, you know. I feel like a month or two ago I had so many ideas of everything that I would have wanted to do with Anthem. And the less we see, the more I'm like, what do I even really want right now? You know, like I just want to play something. Like I want to have a reason to go in every week and do what I like to do. Shooting mans and blowing stuff up and getting sweet loot. Yes. Yeah, they do need to just pull the trigger and make something happen, but it does need to be thought out a little bit, you know, like if the players like it, they'll play it. Yeah, exactly. But I don't think they're in a position to just put whatever out there, because if it's bad, then it's gonna get worse. That's the problem. So it's like it's a catch-22. It's like you need to put something out, but if the people don't like it, then they're not gonna be happy. Then they're not gonna be happy. It's gonna be worse than they were before. Not doing anything at this point hurts more. I'm 50-50 on that. I'm giving it one chance right now. You know, I'm not on the inside. I don't know what's coming down the road, but if the cataclysm doesn't draw me back, neither have I, because I'm not on PC. But from what people are saying, it's a big deal, man. The pre-events are pretty large. They've got little horde mode instance-based events in the pre-event, and then once you get into the cataclysm, there's tons of things to do inside the cataclysm on top of finding lore and all that sort of stuff. But I agree, like they need to put something out, but it needs to be like, if they were just gonna say we're gonna put more creatures so you can fight, that might be an issue. Because it's like people want rewards, man. We want to play for the big ticket. Well, there's three story missions that are coming with the cataclysm. There's a lead up to the cataclysm, so that's definitely gonna happen. But yes, more after that as well. They need to expand on the universe, because I think there's a good foundation. There's a good start to where we're going, you know, and they just need to get to the next spot. I want to see all the towns, you know, Freemark, Anthem, everything. I want to see all the places. I keep running the NPCs hoping I'm going to hear more, and it's let down every time. Yeah. I mean, like that's where we are right now, and I think once they start adding some stuff in, and I like in that sense, even if we don't have the cataclysm, they should start like putting little stuff in here, like, oh hey, did you hear about this thing? And then you start thinking, because that's the type of stuff Destiny does. That's what Bungie does with Destiny, and it's such a great thing, because like even if they don't have anything like immediately, you start thinking about other stuff. So that's integral right now. So if the idea would be hypothetically to launch the cataclysm in 4 weeks, in 2 weeks you need to have things get more lively. At this point they have, because we'll talk about more stuff later with that dog, because I saw something today. Oh, but if we got no other questions or comments, we'll take a short break, take a little breather, and then jump into some Anthem gameplay. You have a comment. Do you do a Destiny night? Not specifically, but I've been playing a lot of Destiny lately. Like, we're gonna jump into Destiny at like 10:30 tonight and try to finish this raid up. Yeah, like Mass Effect is my favorite game. Like, if I'm gonna pick like a game of like the story and world that I love the most, it's definitely Mass Effect. But my favorite game to play is Destiny. Especially right now, it's a great time to be a Destiny fan, dude. You spelled amazing wrong. But thank you. Is that supposed to be some sort of like signal to something? Is that what the ellipsis is for? Like I should have caught something I didn't see. Gotcha. You're out of school for 3 days and, or I'm sorry, 10 days, and you forget basic English. I lost everything. Do you forget what day it is? Like I found that before. Thank you for the sticker, Psychotic. I found that like when I lost my job at one point and I didn't. When you don't have to know what day it is, you start forgetting what day it is. And then you're like, is it Saturday? Because every day feels like Saturday at that point. I'm telling you, man. It's nice. But yeah, Psychotic, like I think the perception that a lot of people had is that Anthem was going to be very similar to Destiny, when it's actually much more like Diablo. And that's not for everybody. Like you could see the stark differences in player base between Diablo and Destiny, and it's got to be close to 4-1. You know, so if Anthem isn't that like looter shooter game, no, and that's fine. But I think the vast majority isn't, and that's where we might be having an issue. Like, I enjoy Diablo, but it's not a game I want to go play all the time. Now, give me sci-fi Diablo, and I want to play that, which this is kind of what this is. We'll screw those guys then. But I think once the dust settles with a lot of the things that are going on with Anthem right now, it's going to find a really nice place in a niche area. I don't think it's ever going to be that social phenomenon that Destiny or Division have been. I would even say Division, like Destiny and WoW. Like Destiny and WoW have been like the two of the biggest like social phenomenons over the last 20 years. And I don't see Anthem getting to that point, but having a very like good niche following like the way Diablo is, and that's great. I think anyone would be really, any developer would be really happy to have that kind of dedication and devotion to their IP, and I'd love to be a part of that, man. Because like I said, Diablo is fun to me, but like sci-fi gets me more than fantasy, you know? So a game like Anthem with science fiction, science fiction lore and cool mech suits and shit like that, like that's the stuff that gets me jazzed up, and I really want to get invested into it. Give me a little bit more story, like you said, and put a little tiny bit more loot into the game, and then give us activities that we could really have fun with playing, you know? And I think that Anthem will have a very good lifetime. You know, all right, here we go. All right, so Diablo 3's newest season launched what, 3 or 4 weeks ago? Diablo 3 is a game from 2012. 2011 even. And it didn't see the spike in player base that it needed until almost a year after release. I think Anthem's going to be pretty similar. You got to find that happy medium of where people want to play the game all the time. But Diablo 3 is still going strong. Like, you know, we're 7 years later. You know, another game that just got announced yesterday that's coming to the West. Phantasy Star. You know, Phantasy Star Online is a game from 2012 that people are still playing religiously every single day in Japan. And it's coming to America now. It's going to be crazy when that game launches here. But, you know, it's not every game has to be for everybody. And I think Anthem is going to settle into that niche where people really want to play that type of content. And they'll have a very successful lifetime as a game, you know. And the way that they have everything set up, you don't have to keep rebuilding the game over time. Because I don't think we're in that era anymore where if you want to do new things to a game, you don't have to scrap the entire thing of what you have and rebuild it like we have in the past. Like, you know, every other game needed new things. But with a games as a service model, you can take a good concrete core of a game and just consistently build on that to where you have this great thing. Like you know, we were talking about WoW before. WoW is a game that's been around for since 2002. So we're at like 17 years now. It's been around. That's crazy. I don't think that I think that far exceeded anyone's expectation of how long the game would last. SWTOR has had a very, very long lifetime, you know. games as a service is a model that a lot of people are trying to adopt because you don't have to build from scratch all the time, and it's going to provide content over the long term more consistently. And I think that's the way a lot of developers want to go right now. And I think that's the way that the BioWare's going to go with Anthem. So you can build your single story experiences with Dragon Age and Mass Effect, and then have this other game in Anthem. Because I don't think they're going to be doing Star Wars much longer. Like as much as SWTOR has their stuff right now, and just had a new expansion, but I don't think SWTOR is a forever game. It might be. That'd be cool. It's not a game that I really enjoy, but you got to respect them for really standing behind that and continuing to do that long term, And Anthem, I do feel can be the same thing as long as you keep expanding on it, giving us new stuff, giving us more stuff to chase, and being transparent with the community, which they've been much better lately. But guys, I'm going to take a 2.5 minute break, and then we'll be back with some Anthem gameplay. We're going to jump into free play for a little bit so I can kind of finish working on this damn milestone thing. But I appreciate everyone being here for the conversation. We'll do this every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And then I'm here live every day but Tuesday and Thursday at 8 o'clock Eastern time, except for Saturday, because that's in the afternoon. But guys, thank you so much. I will see you in about 2.5 minutes. All right, dudes? Later.